Mm, okay, it's recording right now. Hello, everyone, and I hope all of you are staying true and living true to yourself in this wonderful environment that we call Earth, and into infinity and beyond with the universe. We are here with an amazing spiritual teacher and motivational expert, Rowan. How do you pronounce your name? That I always seem to pronounce it tiny. Is it Tywin?
It's Rowan Tyne, yeah.
Rowan Tyne. Oh, okay, perfect. How are you, Rowan? Introduce yourself. What you been up to?
What's going on? Yeah, so my name's Rowan Tyne, and right now I'm in Thailand traveling. Just right now, I'm really on it's kind of a rite of passage experience, stepping into my own manhood, stepping into just living consciously, and just all the growth and expansion that entails.
Wow, you're just going with the flow, man, of life.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes it's choppy, but it's all good.
Oh, okay, good. All right. So just our first question that here, where did you come from? How did you start on your quest? What sparked the idea for you to travel around the world and sharing motivational and tips and tricks of life?
Yeah, it's a big question. It's a good question. It started a while ago. It started with me going through a lot of depression, going through a lot of, I was very suicidal for a long time, self-harm, drug abuse, all of this stuff. And I was just so lost. And I think a lot of young men are currently going through that. And when I got to a point where I knew I needed to make a shift, and I started making many shifts in my life, and I started to find a lot of answers. And so I was helping a lot of people going through their own stuff, and started sharing those answers more. And yeah, people vibe with it. People can understand it, and it resonates with people on a deep level because it's real. And yeah, man, that's kind of how I got started. Now I do coaching. So I'm in Oslo right now, so it might be a little bit of noise. So I do it's like one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. I just like support people. I'm always talking with somebody. Just helping people break through their limitations, and really step into the people that they were born here to be. And that's really where I feel inspired and called, because for me, I'm just living a life that I wouldn't even have recognized. I wouldn't recognize myself few years ago. And because of the answers that I've found, because of just what I've chosen to do with my life and my time and every breath here. And so to be able to have those answers and to share them with others really lights me up. And that's what I spend a lot of time doing.
Wow, it's so lovely to hear your story. What sprouted you into what began everything? Was it your bad experiences in life? Was it your traumatic experiences which you want to help people not experience the same things that you went through, or was it something like a spiritual awakening?
I guess there's kind of all of those things. I mean, I think those traumatic experiences, I mean, we don't like to maybe define them as spiritual events, but actually those are some of my biggest painful experiences, are some of the most spiritual events I've ever experienced, because they brought me I got so in touch with what was hurting, with all my wounds, with I really started to look deep within myself. And I mean, for a while I didn't. For a while I had a lot of painful experiences and I tried to avoid them, but whatever you run from is going to chase you. So when I stopped running and I stood my ground and stood in who I really am, then actually they become very spiritual experiences. I mean, there have been so many things that kind of so many events that have kind of kicked my life into stepping up to the next level. But I don't really know where to begin. I mean, but yeah.
That's perfect. Is that the one thing that I've managed to comprehend is that with problems, you can never run away from them. You must face them head on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's very true. And so my second question is, how do we begin to appreciate life and escape the social norms of life and just really appreciate life for what it is and have gratitude? How may we begin this?
So for me, I spent years very ungrateful, or I kind of had this like kind of guilt around how ungrateful and unhappy and unsatisfied I was, because I was like, wait, I'm in a first world country. I technically have all these things. I've got a family, like, my parents are alive. I've got like siblings. I go to school. I've got a job. Like, I had kind of guilt around being ungrateful, and I think a lot of people also have that. And I'd say the first step is to, one, just like embrace. I mean, it's not easy at first, because we have so much psychological wiring that goes, all of our neural pathways are actually going in a different direction. All the neurons are, every time we get kind of challenged or triggered or something happens externally, if it's just a habit, right? We have habits that just go back into complaining, go back into thinking about the negatives, and go back to all the problems. I think the first step is just to start retraining that habit. And the easiest, most applicable thing is just to spend like 2 minutes a day, just like sitting in gratitude, to journal 5 things a day you're grateful for. To just, and actually not just like write them down, I'm grateful for this, but like, wow, I'm grateful that I have a body. I'm grateful that like have this shelter around me. I'm grateful that I got to eat and drink today. I'm grateful that there's so many things. I'm grateful that I'm breathing right now. We take for granted all the little things, and then we take for granted all the big things too. But it just starts with just making it a practice. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I should be grateful, or I want to be grateful, but who's actually spending the time to cultivate that? Because it's just a habit, just like everything else.
That is spot on. It's that being in that spot and just embracing yourself 100%. That really connects it to my third question, is that how can we begin to become really authentic with ourselves? How can we connect with ourselves and throw down this social mask that is our ego and just really connect with who we are? What are the steps to connect to becoming authentic?
Yeah, so it looks different for everybody, but I think there are some key elements in that. So to be authentic, that just means to be real. And a lot of people don't want to be real or genuine, or they're afraid to just be themselves, because there's just, we spend so much of our lives like seeking validation and acceptance externally, from external sources, from the people in school and the popular kids. And I mean, our parents, that's how we like literally we popped out as babies, and that's just like what we seek, is like somebody to accept us, somebody to hold us, somebody to care for us. And it's actually just part of our nature to be seeking that validation. But I think like the biggest thing is actually to start to cultivate that validation and that acceptance of oneself internally, and be the cause, be the creation of that. Learn to accept yourself, because when we start accepting ourselves and embracing ourselves, and letting go of all these fears that we have around being who we really are, then it just comes and it just happens. Like I talked to a lot of people. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, probably just talking to a few people the other day, because I'm constantly doing stuff with this, because it's so key and it's such a core thing. Everybody struggles or has this happening in their lives on some level. And it's never that we're going to overcome seeking validation ever, because we've biologically evolved to do exactly that. And but it's to come and just be on different terms with that, being the cause, creating it for ourselves, and then and just having the awareness, oh, I'm seeking validation now. Oh, that I'm doing something, I'm saying certain things that probably I wouldn't say. And then it's just cultivating that awareness of what we are doing that is out of alignment, and then And then when we have the awareness, that's when we get all our power. Then we get to actually step in and shift those things and shift into who we really are, even if it scares us. Is just like you said, it's actually fear and all of these things. It's actually just about moving through them. It's about seeing them and seeing it as a call to action and then stepping in.
That is spot on. Amen to that. I praise for your answer. Such very strong, man. Very strong.
I'm glad you like it.
What is one of your most life-changing experiences that you've ever had on your journey, during your journey of helping people, of spreading motivation, on spreading on how to appreciate life? What was your most life-changing experience?
It's a big question. I've had a lot of life-changing experiences. What do you mean exactly?
Like something, a spiritual experience or anything like that you felt like really changed who you are into becoming a better person because you're helping people.
Mm-hmm. I could list so many. What I'd say, like there are all these spiritual experiences we can have, and I think when I was stepping in and I was starting to have these experiences, there's a level of ego involved in it, and wanting to have these like crazy spiritual lucid dreams, out of body experiences, astral projections, all of these things, and letting go of those things, letting go of that desire, because once again it was just ego versus like coming from my soul. Like actually there's like a level of resistance to those experiences, and I think it's important that we let go of our ego's grasp, even on spirituality, because it can really get in there. And I think I can credit a lot of my expansion, and I can thank a lot of my expansion and growth and evolution as a being, and healing as a being, to taking out my ego and just allowing it to be and just embracing it. And so that being said, like I said, with like spiritual experiences happening, I could say all like these like very unique, exciting experiences, but like actually the very simple things are just as sacred. And so actually it's all the little things. They were the ones that made the difference. It's like getting back after I was at the seminar, this training, and then like having my little brother just like come up to me and just like hug me and just like shower me with love. It's like little things like that that are just as important. It doesn't matter like all the stories that you can tell, like yes, those are great as well, but actually just love is the deepest spiritual, most profound spiritual experience that anybody can have, and just to be open to that.
I really love that answer. That was so authentic from you. I feel like that was very authentic. Here's another question, which is kind of a contrast, a type of yin yang to what you just stated right now. So, would you mind sharing a story of a very bad experience you may have had in life that year, and how you got out of it? And do you have any tips and any advice for people that may be going through a similar experience that you've had?
Yeah, man. Like, once again, I don't know where to begin. It's very big. I've definitely had a lot of difficult experiences. I mean, I spent like 7 years pretty much depressed. Like, I mean, it was on and off, but like I had a lot to overcome, a lot to heal, a lot to work through. And so, big challenge. You want to be a little more specific about that, and I can speak to something in particular. Maybe like, are you currently experiencing something, or do you know somebody who's currently experiencing something? And I can speak to that.
Oh yeah, like many people that I know, seem to not enjoy life and not have appreciation for it. Mm-hmm. So that what could you give them or advice that on how to just enjoy life? Like that's just an example. Like have you been through anything bad, any traumatic experiences that you may be able to share some wisdom and advice on to people on how, if they may be experiencing the same thing?
Yeah. So I definitely got to say, like, a big thing, and having more appreciation and just like being more excited about life in general, comes down to taking out the distractions and actually following our hearts. For so long, like I mentioned, drug abuse, like I was popping pills, I was drinking and smoking every day, and like that stuff never fulfilled me, and that stuff became a band-aid and a crutch, and things that I used to avoid my pain, to avoid everything that I was experiencing, and to take out those distractions, to take out those things. It was very hard for me at the time because it was just ingrained in my current lifestyle of negativity, and it wasn't helping me vibrate higher energetically on like a higher frequency. My body was very just like low frequency, negative, heavy feeling all the time. And I didn't even know because I just had no awareness of what it would feel like to feel higher, right? If you've never experienced something better, you never know. Like so many people are settling in their lives, and I can relate to that because I did it for so long. I settled and I didn't even know I was settling, and didn't even waiting because I never experienced it. So to let go of those like those distractions, the things that were just such a part of my life that I really deep down knew it was like throwing me wicked out of alignment, but to move out of them and to expand out of them, it was really hard because I don't know if I was addicted, but yeah, I was definitely very attached and dependent on these outlets that were not healthy for me. And so just letting go of the distractions. We all know it's not that we never know what to do, it's that we just don't do what we know. And I think that's just like a huge distinction that we get to make, is that like, yeah, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, is always speaking to you. Your intuition is always kicking here, telling you, don't do that, don't do that. You've been doing that, it's never working. And so like if we just listen to it, but the thing is we've listened to the voice that says seek validation, or we've listened to the voice that says I don't know, do all of these things that aren't helping us, and so that voice becomes louder, and then like the soul voice, that inner voice within us that is telling us go this way, that your heart is calling you this way, it becomes quieter because there's just so much chatter. So to be able to quiet the mind, to be able to quiet and let go of all the distractions and just like be, and it can be uncomfortable at first, it can bring a lot of discomfort, which is why our egos don't really like it. We want everything to be known and we want everything to be secure and safe, but to be in that place is so powerful.
It's such a powerful statement, Rowan. Thank you so much. And another question as well. Um, what? How can we become more present with ourselves and just release this notion of the past, present, and future, and stop being a prisoner of the past?
Yeah. How do you think?
Just
if an excellent interviewer just asked you that same exact question, like what pops through your intuition? Like what comes through? Like, yeah.
Just having a connection with yourself, embracing who you are, just being aware of what is around you. But like, could you give your perspective on that question?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd say very similar. Like to be present with yourself, is that like really the question? How to be more present with yourself?
Yes.
It's just one of these things that we cultivate. There's I mean, so many people are looking for like, they want just like that quick fix. You do this one thing and your life's gonna be a perfect solution. And it's very much just a muscle to train. Like I am in no way like perfect with any of these things. I fall off and everything, but it's actually learning to just get back on, learning to embrace it, no matter how the journey is looking currently, just to make the most of it, and just cultivating that muscle. It's just we train our muscles in our brains just like we train, and like in our hearts and everything, just like we train at like work out at a gym, or whether like whatever skill we're developing, it just takes repetition and it takes consistency and it takes just going back to it. And it also takes messing up, failing, and then stepping back and just keep going. Because like, yeah, like it's there is no quick fix solution, like how to be present, like this thing is gonna like do it. No, but if you like can really go back to it once a day, like I don't know, like I mean sometimes I guess like little things, little tricks for me, like I don't know, maybe I like write a question mark on my hand or something like that, and I just like, oh yeah, just like remind me to go be present again, or like, or sometimes to do it like if I'm opening a door, just like breathe for a second and then just enter the room consciously, or to if I'm going up some stairs, just like feel it, just like feel my body. And so I mean I do things like that every single day, that and so like the muscles trained more, but it just starts with being aware. Oh, watch your thoughts. When you feel tense or negative, watch your thoughts. Oh, how are you feeling in your body? Watch your body. How does that feel? Oh, instead of putting all these labels on it, how about we just call them, okay, well, my stomach is tense because I'm nervous about this, and it becomes a much more present experience. It becomes a much more peaceful and easier to manage experience. And then also listening to your soul, listening to your heart, which just goes back to taking out the distractions and then giving time to journal, giving time to meditate, giving time to do yoga, giving time. I mean, you don't have to do those things, but things that really light you up, or things that make you feel really connected with yourself.
That is such a great question. You heard that, everybody, from Rowan, that it's by merely having a medium to focus on. So I praise that question, Rowan. So another question is, how can we expand from our limiting self-beliefs, of our beliefs such as religion or any sort of belief that may be limiting our expansion in life? How can we expand from that and look at life from a newer perspective?
Yeah, so it's a big question. Once again, I love them. And I guess the first thing I'd say is, yeah, religion is a very powerful thing. There's a reason so many people have used it for so many thousands of years. It helps explain things. And I think there's a lot of power in it. And also to have our own experiences, our own spiritual experiences, our own experiences, questioning those things, questioning those beliefs, and seeing what is really true for us instead of just going off of what we've been told to believe, because we just soak things in as children, and like we become our conditioning and our programming and all of these things. And just to question those things, and to so many people, and it ties back in with ego, because right, ego likes to have control, ego likes to just know everything. It can latch itself and attach itself, grasping onto what is right and wrong. And so then people can find very skewed ideas of what is right and wrong, and they like hold on to their beliefs so firmly that they identify with them. And when we identify with beliefs, then we immediately are going to feel threatened and fearful and hateful and all of these things when somebody has a different belief. And so just to question those beliefs and to realize that like there is no right and wrong, the truth is subjective, and that yes, I might have things that resonate with myself better, but actually like in the end of the day, I know nothing. And it's a very humbling place to come from, and to have experiences that tell us this. And I think the universe is always telling us this, that we know nothing, that like just embrace that you know nothing, and let go of that needing to be right, or needing to like not be wrong, and like avoiding that, just to question what you think is right, and because it's a very fearful place to feel like you always have to be right, and like yeah.
That is so true. That's just to be humble, that at the end of everything, you don't know everything in life. It's just merely, it is what it is. So that's such a correct answer, Ronan. Thank you so much. Another question is about that. How do you honestly see the world? That here, what is your perception in life? Because in true living, on this channel, we always here go to the root cause of everything. So how do you see life, honestly, from everything that you've experienced and on your journey? How do you see life?
How do I see life? You know, I don't claim to have any specific answers, or any answers that are definite in any way. You know, I really see life as very, very subjective once again, and that we are part of something. I do believe that we're part of something greater. I believe that we are that myself is not all there is, that there's more at play than what I can currently perceive. And yeah.
All right, here. So it's just a perfect answer. So you are just going with the flow of life, Ronan. That's just perfect, man.
Yeah.
And so just finishing up with this interview, yes. So do you have any last thoughts, any advice for people that may be really struggling with life and not here, what they can do, or what they can seek, what they can just simply find in life? That they may be going through anything very traumatic. Do you have any last minute advice for them, that you have right now an audience? The entire world is listening to you right now. What would you tell the entire world?
If you can learn to love yourself, then you win the game. That's it. And the more I deepen my love for myself, the more everything changes. I'd also say reach out to people. It doesn't have to be me, but reach out to me. Reach out to Brandon here. Reach out to people who care and are willing to support you and hear you out, and are just like a cultivating and nourishing environment that where you'll be supported and where you can be yourself. And from that place, if we can surround ourselves with people like that, if we can go have people to talk to and go to really helps us break through limitations. It really helps us let go of things and move forward in our lives. And so I think it's really important to have other people around us, because we're social beings, and we can't do it all alone. Nobody ever climbs the mountain alone.
So it's perfect, man. A correct answer for the world to hear.
Correct.
So do you have any channel, any services, any books that you wish you to share with everyone here right now?
Yeah, so you can, if you just go to Instagram at empoweredsouls, you can connect with me there. If you want to go to Facebook, Rowan Tyne, just connect with me there, and that's where you can find anything that I'm offering, any programs that I've got going on. I mean, there's always something new. I'm always creating something. And yeah, I have a new program that's coming out. It's called Soul Circle, actually. It's not out yet, so you guys are getting like the kind of sneak peek. But it's basically just a group, a family, a tribe for people who are looking to basically have those things I just said, like deep soul level connections, like a nourishing environment, so you can become like the king, the queen, the man, the woman you're born to be. And also so to find your gifts and fine tune them, give them back to the world and be of service. It's like really for people who are like that. And we're just creating me and this other great being I'm working with. We are creating, we're just creating this group for people all over the world to connect with online. And it's awesome stuff. Conversations just like this that need to be had. And we're doing cool stuff. So just check me out, Instagram, Facebook, shoot me a message. Because I respond to everybody. I responded to Brandon. I respond to whoever. Happy to support.
Amazing, man. I definitely have to check that out as well. So so everyone, I'll be leaving all of Rowan's links, his services, his Soul Tribe family on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll be leaving all of them in the description below. So until next time, Rowan, thank you so much again for this interview. Your insights were amazing. I deeply appreciate your presence here on Earth. It's needed.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you so much, Rowan.
Yeah.
So until next time, everyone. Let me just hit. Peace out, everyone. Peace.
Peace.